How you doing? It's John Madrid with John Madrid's Factory Direct Homes. So first and foremost, I'd like to start off these videos by telling you thank you and how much we appreciate you following us, sharing us, commenting on our ads, and also applying and buying a house from us. So what we like to do in return is not only give you great value in the house, in the discounts, in the service that we give you, also educate you on what to do and what not to do when you're buying a new house. So today's video is going to be about the 5 things that you should not, and hear me here, should not be doing when you're trying to buy a house, okay? And again, there's a lot of other things, but these are the 5 most important things. Do not do them when you're buying a house. All right, guys, so let's jump right in. So number 1, do not change jobs, okay? So let's say that you've been at your job for 5 years and you're in the process of buying a house. Well, keep in mind, if you, depending on the type of loan that you do, we can get the process done pretty quickly, especially if you're really respondent and get us what we need. Let's say that you get the opportunity of a lifetime and you're going to get a promotion, right? Or let's say you get an opportunity at a different job. Tell them, I'm interested, I'll take it, but let me close on my home first. Because if you change jobs, and we'll do a whole nother video on how that affects your income, you basically, it'll take you longer to close on that loan. You might have to wait 2 or 3 months before you can qualify, if not 2 years, okay? So just don't change your job. Even if you get a great opportunity, just tell your prospective new employer, say, hey, I'm interested, but I'm in the middle of buying a house, just let me close on it, move in, fund, and then I'll change my job, all right? Plus, you got to give notice to your current employer. It's the right thing to do. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is don't make any large deposits, okay? So part of the conditions or the checklist, which we have a video on that, is going to be to provide 2 months of bank statements, okay? So let's say that you always have $5,000 in the bank, and then all of a sudden you deposit $20,000, you're going to have to explain to the lender, hey, where'd that money come from, right? So again, do not make large deposits. And again, we'll make a different video on that because there's a lot of people, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't keep any money in the bank, I only deposit as needed. That's perfectly okay, but again, talk to your bank about that because there's a letter, it's called a cash on hand letter. Essentially, you're explaining to them, hey, I keep my money at home, I deposit it as needed, I'm obviously going to have to deposit my down payment for this loan. So again, just don't make any large deposits that you cannot explain because you're going to have to explain. Or your approval can turn into a denial if just, all this money magically appears in your bank. You just have to be honest with the lender. Just, tell them, hey, this is where it came from. It's okay? Number 3, do not apply for any new lines of credit. So you don't, like, let's say that you got approved for a house. There's no need to go and take couches out or buy new TVs. Again, do that if you want to after you move into your house. Because again, the bank is determining your income or your ability to pay based on what they looked at when they approved you. Now, if you go and ding your credit applying for all these other things, it may change the house that you can buy. So you definitely don't want to buy less of a house because you wanted some couches for this new house. Again, do that after. And again, be smart with your money. Of course, you don't want to just go and take everything out on credit. But at the same time, just don't take or apply for any new lines of credit because that'll tell the bank, it'll give them an alert and say, hey, they just took out another loan. So now we have to relook at the finances, figure out if they can still budget for this house. So don't shortchange yourself by getting overexcited about the house. You want to be excited, but don't take out any new lines or apply any new lines of credit, okay? So number 4, it says do not take out any new loans. It kind of goes into the whole applying for new credit. So if you messed up and applied for new credit, definitely don't take out a loan while you're waiting to take your loan out for your house, if that makes sense. Because then you're going to have to explain what's the loan for, can you afford the same house with this new payment. Again, guys, you're applying for the house. The house is going to be the biggest purchase of your entire life. Focus on that first, put everything else on the back burner. And the last part of that says, do not co-sign. I would strongly suggest against co-signing in general, but definitely don't co-sign in the middle of trying to get yourself a house. I've seen so many people get ready to buy a house and then they get turned down because they co-signed for a brother, mother, sister, aunt, cousin, friend, and then those people paid late, which damaged their credit. So if you can avoid co-signing, definitely avoid it, all right? And then lastly, don't close any lines of credit. So what that means is, let's say you have 10 credit cards, and you know, a lot of times you get told, charge it, pay it, charge it, pay it. That's not actually true. I'll make a whole nother video based on how, you know, your line of credit affects your credit score. But when you close a line of credit, let's say you have a $10,000 credit card that you don't use and it's paid off, it's better to have it open with a zero balance than it is to close it, because if you close it, your credit score will actually decrease because now you have less credit available. So by having less credit available, it decreases your score, which could then increase your down payment, which could then affect the house you're trying to buy, okay? So just a quick recap, the 5 things you're not, remember, not supposed to do. Number 1, don't change your job. Number 2, don't make any large deposits that you cannot explain. Number 3, don't apply for any new lines of credit. Number 4, don't take out any new loans. Don't co-sign for anybody. And lastly, do not close any lines of credit you already had. All right, guys? So again, this is John Madrid with John Madrid's Factory Direct Homes. I thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you gained some understanding of the things not to do. And again, we have singles, doubles, mega wides, everything. And we ship all over Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. So call, text, and email me and apply today. We look forward to helping you and your family get into your new home. Thanks again, guys.